The Hope Dealer, Inner Happiness, Declutter Your Mind, Anxiety Management, and Improved Productivity. Written by Batantu. Narrated by Rachel Hirsh. Chapter 1. The 4 Pillars of Well-Being. As I was working on this latest book, people would ask me what it was about. I'd list out the 4 pillars of well-being: mental decluttering, inner happiness, reduction of anxiety, and productivity. Almost without fail, my friends would say something like, "That's quite a hodgepodge." At first glance, it might look like they have a point. In this chapter, we're going to pin down how, in fact, these 4 areas of well-being work together. Each affects the others, either for good or ill. It makes sense. On our most anxious days, our productivity takes a nosedive. If you're an outliner in this respect, more power to you. Likewise, when we're unhappy, it's easier to feel anxious. These 4 pillars send feedback loops that amplify and weaken each other depending on the circumstances. Imagine they're all in a circle, but at the same time connected to each other. As I did my research, I wanted to establish whether there was one pillar that ruled them all. It didn't take me long to confirm that, indeed, there is. Try to guess which one has a greater effect on the other pillars. Think through the times when you were sad or happy, unproductive or in the zone, anxious or carefree. Where do those moments get their power from? As it turns out, our thoughts trigger our emotional states and actions. Research supports this. Early proponents of this idea, the psychologist Albert Ellis and the psychiatrist Aaron T. Beck, didn't blame despair on natural disasters or illness or death, but rather on our very thoughts. A little aside to those of you with a genetic predisposition to the blues or who are going through adversity, I am not saying that your thoughts are the only thing that affects your mood. That would be highly insensitive and false. But research has shown that even in the midst of trials, well-being is in our reach. It will take work. Some days the challenge may be great. But the power of our thoughts to overcome mental clutter, sadness, anxiety, and low productivity is within each of us. As such, I invite you to imagine the 4 elements of well-being as components of a wooden wheel. Imagine what pioneers had on their Conestoga wagons. It's an apt analogy given that you are a pioneer on a journey towards well-being. In the center of your wheel sits metal decluttering. Imagine spokes extending outward and attaching to the 3 other elements: anxiety reduction, inner happiness, and productivity. In turn, these 3 pillars are connected to each other through parts of the wheel. Influence can move out from the center and from the outer edges, but the hub of the wheel, your thoughts, has the most powerful influence. Take a moment to imagine this wheel. It is useful to visualize how these pillars work together and influence each other, because when we get into a heightened emotional state, whether good or bad, we need something concrete, something simple to help us verbalize and better understand what is going on so we can make better decisions. Now you will understand why I made the subject of the first chapter mental decluttering and not happiness. When asked, many people will say that they want to be happy. But happiness is largely a result of something more powerful, namely the thoughts, words, and images that run through our minds. So I should read this book in order, right? Most of you will probably find it most useful to read this short book in order. This is because decluttering your thought patterns will help you get the most out of all other strategies. Each chapter, however, stands on its own. If you feel drawn to the chapter on productivity, for example, feel free to tackle that one first. I remember a time when I was so tired of being sad, I would have headed straight to the chapter on inner happiness. I needed relief, fast. No matter what order you go, improvement is one area that will give you a boost in other areas. Exercises. Each section will have strategies to use throughout your life as needed. Incorporate them bit by bit.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?